Island of the Blue Dolphins. Learning objectives. Friendship helps all of the creatures to survive since it inspires them to endure difficult times. Warm up. Imagine that you are stranded on a desert island. What things do you need? What would you do to survive? If you were only allowed to take 5 things with you, what would you take and why? Important fact to remember, there is no electricity on the island. My survival kit. If you went to a desert island, what would you like on a desert island? What wouldn't you like? Why? Scott Odell, 1898 to 1989, was one of the greatest American children's authors. He has written 26 novels for young people along with 3 novels for adults and 4 non-fiction books. As an accomplished children's writer, he has been rewarded with Biennial International Hans Christian Andersen Award in 1972. He was most famously the author of the children's novel Island of the Blue Dolphins, 1960, which won the 1961 Newbery Medal as well as a number of other awards. Some other award-winning books written by Scott Odell are The King's Fifth, 1966, Bright Dawn Black Star, 1988, The Black Pearl, 1967, and Sing Down the Moon, 1970. This episode is from a book called Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. It is a true story of a Native American girl who was abandoned on a desolate island off the coast of California in 1835 and survived alone for 18 years. Summer is the best time on the Island of the Blue Dolphins. The sun is warm then and the winds blow milder. It was during these days that the ship might return, and now I spend most of my time on the rock, looking out from the high headland into the east towards the country where my people had gone across the sea that was never ending. Once while I watched, I saw a small object which I took to be the ship, but a stream of water rose from it and I knew that it was a whale spouting. During those summer days, I saw nothing else. The first storm of winter ended my hopes. If the white man's ship were coming for me, it would have come during the time of good weather. Now I would have to wait until winter was gone, maybe longest. The thought of being alone on the island while so many suns rose from the sea and went slowly back into the sea filled my heart with loneliness. I had been sure that the ship would return. Now my hopes were dead. Now I was really alone. I could not eat much, nor could I sleep without dreaming terrible dreams. The storm blew out of the north, sending big waves and strong winds against the island. I moved my bed to the foot of the rock and for protection kept a fire going throughout the night. I slept there 5 times. The first night the dogs came and stood outside the ring made by the fire. I killed 3 of them with arrows, and they did not come again. On the 6th day, when the storm had ended, I went to the place where the canoes had been hidden. This part of the shore was sheltered from the wind, and I found the canoes just as they had been left. The dried food was still good, but the water was stale, so I went back to the spring and filled a fresh basket. I decided during the days of the storm that I would take one of the canoes and go to the country that lay towards the east. Yet I cannot say that I was really afraid as I stood there on the shore. I knew that my ancestors had crossed the sea in their canoes. I was not nearly so skilled with the canoe as these men, but whatever might befall me on the endless waters did not trouble me. It meant far less than the thought of staying on the island alone, without a home or companions, pursued by wild dogs. I chose the smallest of the 4 canoes, which was still very heavy because it could carry 6 people. The task was to push it down to the rocky shore, a distance 4 or 5 times its length. I first removed all the large rocks in the front of canoe. I then filled in all the holes with pebbles and along this path laid down long strips of seaweed making a slippery bed. Once I got the canoe to move with its own weight, it slid down the path and into the water. The sun was in the west when I left the shore. The sea was calm behind the high cliffs. Using the paddle, I quickly skirted the south part of the island. As I reached the sand pit, the wind struck. I was paddling from the back of the canoe because you can go faster kneeling there, but I could not handle it in the wind. Kneeling in the middle of the canoe, I paddled hard and did not pause until I had gone through the tides that run fast round the sandpit. I was soon wet, but as I came out from behind the pit, the spray lessened and waves grew long and roaring. At dusk, the island of the blue dolphins had disappeared. This was the first time that I felt afraid. There were only hills and valleys of water around me now. Night fell and I drank from the basket. The water cooled my throat. The sea was black and there was no difference between it and the sky. The waves made no sound, only faint noises as they went under the canoe or struck against it. Sometimes the noises seemed angry and at other times like people laughing. I was not hungry because of my fear. The first star made me feel less afraid. It came out low in the sky towards the east. Other stars began to appear all around, but it was this one I kept my gaze upon. It was in the figure that we call a serpent, a star which shone green and which I knew. Now and then it was hidden by mist, yet it always came out brightly again. Without this star, I would have been lost, for the waves never changed. They came always from the same direction and kept pushing me away from the place I wanted to reach. But somehow I kept moving towards the star. The wind grew quiet, since it always died when the night was half over. I knew how long I had been traveling and how far the dawn was. The canoe was leaking before the dark. I had emptied one of the baskets and used it to dip out the water that came over the sides. I stopped paddling and worked with the basket until the bottom of the canoe was almost dry. Then I found the place near the bow where water was seeping through a crack. It leaked whenever the canoe dipped forward in the waves. I tore a piece of fiber from my skirt and pressed it into the crack. Dawn broke in a clear sky. There was no wind and the long waves went quietly under the canoe. I therefore moved faster than during the night. I was very tired but more helpful than I had been since I left the island. If the good weather did not change, I would cover many leagues before dark. Another night and another day might bring me within sight of the shore towards which I was going. Not long after dawn, while I was thinking of the strange place and what it would look like, the canoe began to leak again. It was suddenly clear to me that it was dangerous to go on. The voyage would take 2 more days, perhaps longer. By turning back to the island, I would not have nearly so far to travel. The thought of turning back after all this labor was more than I could bear. Even greater was the thought of the deserted island I would return to, of living there alone and forgotten. For how many suns and how many moons? The canoe drifted idly on the calm sea, but when I saw the water seeping through the canoe again, I picked up the paddle. There was no choice except to turn backwards the island. I knew that only by the best of fortune would I ever reach it. The wind did not blow until the sun was overhead. With the wind, I went more slowly and had to stop more often because of the water spilling over the sides. But the leak did not grow worse. This was my first good fortune. The next was when a swarm of dolphins appeared. They came swimming out of the west and began to follow me. They swarmed up slowly and so close that I could see their eyes, which are large and the color of the ocean. Then they swarm on ahead of the canoe, crossing back and forth in front of it, diving in and out. Dolphins are animals of good omen. It made me happy to have them swimming around the canoe, and though my hands had begun to bleed, just watching them made me forget the pain. I was very lonely before they appeared. but now I felt that I had friends with me and did not feel the same. The blue dolphins left me shortly before dusk. They left as quickly as they had come, going on into the west, but for a long time I could see the last of the sun shining on them. After night fell, I could still see them in my thoughts, and it was because of the last I kept on paddling when I wanted to lie down and sleep. More than anything, it was the blue dolphins that took me back home. Fog came with the night, yet from time to time I could see the red star called Maggot. The night was very long. I was more afraid than I had ever been. But the morning broke clear, and in front of me lay the dim line of the island. I reached it before the sun was high. My legs were stiff from kneeling, and as the canoe struck the sand, I fell when I rose to climb out. I crawled through the shallow water and up the beach. There I lay for a long time, hugging the sand in happiness. I was too tired to think of the wild dogs. Soon I fell asleep. Find meaning. 1. Island. A piece of land completely surrounded by water. 2. Loneliness. Sadness because one has no friends or company. 3. Canoes. Narrow boat with pointed ends. 4. Ancestors. People related to you who lived long time ago. 5. Befall. Happened too. 6. Cliffs. Steep rock faces. 7. Voyage. A long journey involving travel by sea. 8. Drifted. Carried away slowly by a current of air or water. 9. Omen. Sign. Prediction. 10. Dusk. Sunset. 11. Stiff. Hard. Inflexible. Exercises. Creative expression. Tell your story. Survival stories are exciting to read and write. Imagine that you have been left alone someplace. It can be any isolated spot, from an island to a desert to a mountain top. Think about one or more of the following and share it in the class. Point 1. What happened? 2. Why were you left alone? 3. What do you do now? 4. Figure out the basics: food, water, shelter, and clothing. 5. What skills and objects do you have that will help you survive? 6. What are you missing that you wish you had? 7. What dangers do you face? 8. What are you most afraid of? 9. How will you protect yourself? 10. How will you be rescued? 11. What will you do to help make rescue possible? Do it yourself. Cross-curricular connect. Learning by doing. Island of the Blue Dolphins was made into a movie in 1964. You can buy it or borrow it from the library or video store. As you watch it, think about how the movie is similar to the book and how it is different. Which do you like better and why? Critical thinking. Let's play a game. Help the pirates to get to the treasure island. Do it yourself. Logical thinking. Did the girl do the right thing by coming back? Do you think it would have been good for her to wait for the people to come and to take her back with them? Give reasons to support your answer. Exercise time. Answer the following question. 1. Why could the girl neither eat nor sleep well? Answer. The girl neither eat nor sleep well because she feels so alone and lonely on the island. 2. What did the girl do on the 6th day when the storm had ended? Answer. The storm ends so on the 6th day. The girl goes to find one of the canoes. The food in them is still good. She's decided to take a canoe and head east on her own. The girl remembers that Kimki asked his ancestors advice before heading east, but the girl can't do this. She's never been able to speak to the dead. 3. When did the girl first feel real fear? Answer. She begins to wonder whether the white man's ship will ever come and begins to experience fear for the first time since she was left on the island with Ramo. 4. Why did the girl want to leave the island? Answer. The girl spends the summer watching for the ship to come back, but when winter arrives, she gives up hope. The girl becomes more and more lonely. After a storm hits the island, she decides to take one of the smaller canoes and go east across the ocean to where her people have gone. Number 5. What noises did the girl hear and what sights did she see while in the canoe? Answer. On her way, a swarm of dolphins begins to follow her boat. Dolphins are a good omen, and though Karana is tired and despairing, the sight of dolphins gives her the strength to continue. Another night passes and Karana's canoe begins to leak, but as dawn breaks, she sees her island on the horizon. Number 6. What made the girl decide to return to the island? Answer. It is unbearably lonely on the island and filled with all kinds of painful memories. Karana wants to leave, so she makes an attempt for the mainland on a leaky canoe. The attempt fails and she is forced to return to the island. She remains on the island for years, but she will eventually leave once more at the end of the book, and readers are left to wonder whether or not her life will actually be better. 7. Did the girl manage to reach the island she wanted to? Answer. Yes, the girl managed to reach the island she wanted to. Find their meaning. 1. Desolate. Uninhabited and giving an impression of bleak emptiness. 2. Spouting. Send out liquid forcibly in a stream. 3. Headland. A narrow piece of land that projects from a coastline into the sea. 4. Canoes. A small piece of bread or pastry with a savory topping served with drinks at reception or formal parties. 5. Slid. Move smoothly along a surface while maintaining continuous contact with it. 6. Dawn. The first appearance of light in the sky before sunrise. Fill in the blanks with the correct words. 1. Island of the Blue Dolphins is a work of Scott Odell. 2. It is based on the life of an American Indian woman. 3. One of the central themes in the importance of friendship. Tick the right option. 1. The speaker chose dash of the 4 canoes. 1 smallest, 2 tallest, 3 biggest. Answer. 1 smallest. 2. The speaker paddled hard and did not 1. Pause, 2. Stop, 3. Start. Answer. 2. Stop. 3. There was no dash and the long waves went quietly under the canoe. 1. Wind, 2. Air, 3. Heat. Answer. 2. Air. Match the following. Do it yourself. Conceptual understanding. Use the blank map below to map out the travel journey of the main character of the story. Use a pencil first and then decorate the map with different colors to show different destinations. Do it yourself. Communication. Writing skills. Write down a paragraph. What would you have done if you were in girl's place? Would you have tried to reach for your home or have waited for help? Do it yourself. Reading skills. Read the following sentences and answer the questions that follow. 1. The canoe drifted idly on the calm sea while these thoughts went over and over in my mind. A. What were these thoughts? Answer. These thoughts were of the girl. B. What happened immediately afterwards as the canoe drifted? Answer. The water seeping through the crack again. C. What did the girl decide to do ultimately? Answer. The girl decided to do ultimately to turn back towards the island. 2. It came out low in the sky towards the east. A. What came out? The first star made her feel less afraid. B. Did the girl know it? Yes, the girl knew it. C. What was special about it? Do it yourself. Listening and speaking skills. A sentence in English always begins with the capital letter. A sentence ends with a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. The comma breaks up a sentence into parts. The comma shows us when to pause. Briefly, our voice does not change when we arrive at a comma. At a full stop, we let our voice fall. Your teacher will read out a paragraph. Listen to it carefully to know where the teacher exactly paused. Let's learn spellings. For each clue, a grid of letters is presented. Locate the word within the grid and draw a line from square to square to link the letters of the word. 1. Not, be able to remember. 2. Shiver or shake. 3. Chance meeting. 4. Molecule made up of 2 atoms, symbol O. 5. City manager. 6. Alternative, backup. Let's learn grammar. A phrase is a group of words that make sense but not complete sense. Phrases are of different kinds. Noun phrase. Noun phrase is a part of sentence with subject and verb and it always acts as a noun. Example, the boys like to eat mangoes. In this sentence, like is the verb and to eat mangoes is the object of the verb like. Thus, to eat mangoes functions as noun here and is a noun phrase. Adjective phrase. A group of words which does the work of an adjective is called as an adjective phrase. Example, A. Nisha is an intelligent girl. B. Nisha is the girl with intelligence. In sentence A, the word intelligent shows what type of girl Nisha is. In sentence B, to express the same meaning, a group of words with intelligence has been used. These groups of words perform the function of adjective. This is called adjective phrase. Adverb phrase. An adverb phrase is a group of words in a sentence that works as an adverb to modify a verb, an adjective or another adverb. A. He talked wisely. B. He talked in a wise manner. In sentence A, the adverb wisely helps to illustrate the verb talk, while in sentence B, a group of words in a wise manner works as an adverb, so this is known as adverb phrase. Vocabulary time. A. Take the correct synonym for the words given in the left side. 1. Loneliness. 1. Isolation. 2. Populous. 3. Crowded. Answer 1. Isolation. 2. Companion. 1. Enemy. 2. Opponent. 3. Buddy. Answer 3. Buddy. 3. Befall. 1. Happen. 2. Stop. 3. Say. Answer 1. Happen. 4. Stiff. 1. Flexible. 2. Lenient. 3. Strong. Answer 3. Strong. B. Write down the adverbs formed from the adjectives, then use the adverbs in the sentence of your own. One has been done for you. Adjective 1. Easy. Adverb easily. Sentence I solved the sums easily. 2. Angry. Adverb angrily. Sentence he swore angrily. Adjective happy. Adverb happily. They have been happily married for 12 years. Adjective lucky. Adverb luckily. Sentence luckily for us, the train was late. Adjective gentle. Adverb gently. Sentence she held the baby gently. Adjective terrible. Adverb terribly. Sentence I slept terribly last night. Adjective slow. Adverb slowly. Sentence the cars on the road are all moving slow or slowly. Adjective sweet. Adverb sweetly. Sentence she was 16 and sweetly innocent. Adjective quick. Adverb quickly. Sentence she walked quickly away. Adjective quiet. Adverb quietly. Sentence the lecturer spoke so quietly that he was scarcely audible at the back of the hall. Life skills. Self-awareness building. Read each comment and circle with response might help keep this conversation going. You can choose more than one. I can't believe that it's Friday. 1. Is Friday your favorite day of the week? 2. Duh, yesterday was Thursday, of course it's Friday. 3. Do you have plans for the weekend? 4. Fridays are definitely awesome. My dog ran away last night. We weren't able to find her. 1. It sounds like you really miss her. 2. Who cares? Cats are better. 3. Oh no, is there anything can do to help? 4. Oh well, do it yourself.